Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. Your lovely host, Jack Xiao here, hosting East West with G&E TV. Like I said, at the turn of the new year, it's time to make resolutions. When making resolutions, it concerns lots of things. Somebody decides to buy a house, somebody decides to get a girlfriend, somebody decides to get married, and I decide to consider quit smoking sometime down somewhere, somehow. Anyway, I'm considering it. And yet, among all those decisions, all those resolutions, there probably could be one of the best is your financial plan. Speaking of financial planning, is really something that's so closely related to your, not only today, but 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, and you have a kids, you're especially who I am talking about. Now, joining me in the call it research is my good friend, financial executive of Trilogy Group, Financial Service Group, and Mr. Stephen Hantely.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks for
Welcome to my show.
Thank you. Enjoying it.
All right. I don't handle financial planning shows on a day-to-day basis. And that's a totally new area to me. So why don't you start by, of course, without your saving account number, stuff like that, your wife's birthday or girlfriend's birthday, without those information, just give us some general information about yourself and your group, please.
Okay. My name's Steve Hantely. I've been a financial planner for about 17 years. And before that, I worked at United Airlines in the corporate sales arenas.
Oh, I see.
And I have a degree in finance from the University of Alaska in Fairbanks. Great school. And being a financial planner is very different because I worked for myself for a while, and now when I work with Trilogy, we have the same philosophy that we're actually looking at what's called comprehensive wealth management, meaning that you're looking at the whole person, like yourself, and you're deciding what is that person's goal? What does this person want?
I see.
And how do we achieve it? And when you're a financial planner, you think on many levels. You think about today, you think about 5 years from now, 20 years from now, and when a person turns 100 years old, you have to think that level as well. So we do the planning. And planning is financial planning, it's tax planning, making sure that we have to pay our fair share, obviously, but we don't pay too much. And then one of the most important parts of it is estate planning, which is sometimes people miss. So that's what I do.
All right. It sounds like a encyclopedia within the whole world of finance. When you talk about money, you talk about your financial planning, right? Without a plan, you're just, get your money, spend your money, get your money, spend the money. Right. End of the day, you don't know where you are.
That's right.
Something like that, simple to me like that, right? So for that kind of advices, what do you need to know about people, about your objects?
When I talk to a person, first of all, everybody's an individual. There is, I believe very strongly that there's no such thing as one size fits all. One product that can solve Jack's problem, everybody else's problem.
I see.
So what you do is you sit with Jack and the client, and you take the time to learn. You probably 80% of what I do is ask a question and listen for an answer.
Oh, I see.
Try to get, what is a person really telling me? What do they really want? And that takes time. That's not something you do. Usually you can take an hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes. Now, and then once you have that information, you can't just say, oh, you need to do this, Jack, or you need to do that, or whatever. You need to say, okay, I need to take your information. I need to mentally digest it. I need to figure out what you want.
I see.
And then I need to make a come back a week or so later and make a recommendation.
In other words, as a matter of fact, you tailor a plan for an individual
That's correct.
Which fits him or her purposely.
Right.
Might not fit as somebody else, but fits them perfectly.
Exactly.
You tailor it.
Tailor it.
You customize it.
Right. And every plan, as a professional in this market, I'm cheating the customer if I just say, oh, you know, Bobby had this one, now Peggy has to have this one. And no, you tailor the plan, and then you make the plan flexible.
I see.
Because people get older, people change, people get married, people die, people unfortunately get divorced, whatever.
I see. To my audience, this is really something unknown to me, how to plan a financial target for the 5 years down the road, for 10 years down the road, for even 20 years down the road, if you leave that long though.
Yeah.
But still something necessary, something like I said, to be included, recommendedly, to be included in your New Year resolution. Joining me is a good friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Hantely. He is the financial executive of Trilogy Financing Plan Group, right? Of course, I do understand everybody is individual, everybody is unique. Right. Their background, their condition, everything is unique. However, there might be chances we can group people, right? For example, we take college students as one group. For people like my camera girl, Nikki, for one group, who are graduated from with a high degree and trying to locate a boyfriend, making the same kind of money, trying to establish a life. That's kind of a group, right?
Correct.
And me, like I am, well, I call myself established. I make a handsome amount of money. Not very handsome, but still reasonably handsome money. And then I'm single. So each, we make it a group. Right. So, for example, though, to convince my audiences, for example, let's take Nikki, for example.
Okay, let's take Nikki for example.
Oh, yeah, let's take
young
Nikki,
woman.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess from just meeting her.
And beautiful.
Beautiful young woman, intelligent, educated.
With a high degree?
With a high degree from a prestigious university, probably in the local area, okay? In her early 20s, single?
Yes.
Okay.
She's busy looking for some candidates already, yes.
Okay. That, a person like that, the first thing that you would find out is, at least that I would suspect, is there's some student debt. I mean, as you're well aware, student debt is the biggest debt in the United States. It's over $1 trillion. It's bigger than credit cards. It's bigger than. So I would ask, do you have any student debt? The other thing that I would look at is she has a tremendous advantage in the fact that she's young. There is, when you're young, if you're willing to take advantage of it, and you have a long time, money tends to leverage, tends to grow over a long period of time. So even though she may not have a large, substantial amount of money that she could invest, as an example, in whatever, if she takes a small amount of it, puts a little bit of it aside, begins that process, gets into the habit of it, when she becomes in her, let's say, mid-50s, okay, which will happen, and she will have the ability to control, and it's very important to control her life. In other words, do I want to go to work?
Yeah.
Maybe I want to go to Hawaii this week. Maybe,
Maybe I want to retire.
That's right. Maybe I want to retire and start my own Starbucks.
Enjoy life, yeah.
So she has that. So she has the advantage of time because she's young. You also have to plan with the idea that maybe her life is going to change substantially. Maybe she will find Mr. Right. Okay? Maybe she will have a couple of children. That's understandable, So you have to plan with the idea of that down the road. And it's like a person like her age, it's a tremendous thing to sit with a planner. And most don't.
I see.
Most younger people wait until they're in their 40s.
I noticed that you mentioned a very important word, to form a habit of saving.
Yes.
That's so important, even especially to us Americans who are so spoiled by the American style of borrowing towards tomorrow or day after even a year after,
Yeah.
on and on, right? So that's very, very important. When they put aside a kind of saving though, do you tend to lead them to get the bank interest of saving or kind of investment money?
I have nothing against banks. I think banks do, in the financial world, they do their part.
All right, okay.
But I think that a person who is young like Nikki right here, who's investing their money, first of all, they need to understand what they're doing. So there is a lot of time involved in explaining why this investment is different from this investment. Second of all, again, going back to the time factor of 20, 30 years down the road, when that money can accumulate, when it can, for lack of a better term, leverage itself or whatever you want to call it, and it will continue to grow. And she has to understand that, and then it has to be watched. I can't say to her, Nikki, you're in your 20s, buy this product and come back when you're 40s. It doesn't work like that. You have to monitor it.
Sure. All right, sounds very good. Probably it's time to take a short moment now. When we come back, we'll find out what's the difference between you do at Trilogy and everybody else in the same business. What's the difference? Might be some difference. Stay with us. We'll be right back.